What's up guys, welcome back to Shifting Lanes. Yesterday, Volvo. Today, Saab. So for those of you that are new to the channel, thank you so much for watching, and if you like what you see, hit subscribe and smash the like button at the end of this video. If you know this channel, a couple months ago, we were hanging out with this guy. This is Kyle Pancis. He detailed the V70R and helped me ceramic coat it the other week. You can check out that video by clicking the card above me, but we also drove his Saab 9.3 convertible a couple of months ago, and you can also find that video by this card above me. Today he has brought the 9.5 2.3 9.5 for us to check out, and he actually rebuilt this thing himself from a big front end collision. So I'm gonna turn the camera around and Kyle is going to explain exactly what he did to get this car back to 100%. So if you don't know Kyle, he has his own YouTube channel, and you can probably see it right here, which I'll go, where's the pop effect? Pop, whatever. You guys can see his channel by clicking the link in the description, but you can also just search Kyle Pancis on YouTube. And he does a lot of Saabs. Saab is a really cool old car company. Unfortunately, they're sort of defunct at this point, but they're really cool cars. And honestly, to me, this is probably the best looking one they've ever done, at least from my perspective. Again, that's a subjective opinion.
I don't disagree.
But this thing is great. Why don't you take us through what this car is and what exactly happened to it and what you did to kind of bring it back to what it is now?
This is a 2008 Saab 9.5. I bought it off Coparts, drinking a cup of coffee about a month and a half ago. It was definitely a premeditated purchase. However, it was just finding the right one. This one, I'll send you a picture. This one had a huge front end collision. The entire front clip was smashed in, and let me just pop the hood and I'll show you exactly what we did. This is the famous 2.3 liter turbocharged engine that Saab produced for many years. They had a couple different variations of this engine. This model year produces 258 horsepower, 258 foot-pounds of torque. And when I got this car, this entire frame was smashed and pushed up against the engine. So what I had to do was I cut the radiator support out. I removed all of the damaged components. I took an inventory of what it was, and then of course I went shopping. And over the course of 2 weeks, I found a couple parts cars, and I also purchased some things new, like the radiator and AC condenser, and reassembled the car. The turbo was damaged from the accident, so I had to replace. If you look at this mark right here, this little mark on the heat shield, that was all pushed in from the accident, and of course the wastegate actuator sits right there. So we replaced that. We replaced the entire intake piping as well as power steering. And after that and some welding and a lot of work, we got her back on the road, and here she is.
So was that the only thing wrong with the car, or was there other things like inside or just in general that were wrong? Was there frame damage? Did it drive poorly? Like, what was the whole deal after the accident?
So really lucky.
And was it a salvage title?
It was a salvage title. It is a salvage title. I had to get it inspected with the state of New Jersey. In terms of main structural damage, the accident, whoever was in the accident must have hit a truck or something, because the accident literally just scraped right above the main bumper frame. So the airbag were not deployed. In fact, the harness was ripped off of one of the airbags because it just skimmed right on top of it. So we got lucky. So the main core structure of the car was not touched. The only frame damage was the radiator support. And of course, if you look, you take off the fenders on both sides, and this is literally tack welded in from the factory. And then of course there's a structure right underneath all of the bumper here that holds it in place. So
this whole front end was basically just all pushed in, smashed, and now, I mean, you can't even really tell. At least, yeah. I mean, from all of this, you know, when the hood's down, can you tell at all either?
Nope. So
wow, look at that. That's crazy.
So what happened, guys, is I got lucky. I found a parts car, and the parts car happened to be in the same paint code as this car. So I literally just took the hood, I took the radiator support, all already had factory paint on the black, so we just put it back on, and you can see the body lines are about 90% there.
Yeah, there's very little panel gap, I gotta say. Yep. Even on the hood, like you can tell, it's all lined up beautifully.
Just need to get our headlight washer. That's about it.
I mean, even that, I honestly didn't even notice it just walking around the car. Yeah. Now, in your words, I mean, you're a big Saab fan, and you clearly did amazing work.
Thank you.
So, in your words, in 30 to 60 seconds, we don't need to know why Saabs are cool. I mean, if you're watching this video, you probably think Saabs are cool anyway. But why is the 9.5 in general cool? It doesn't have to be the 2.3 or the Viggen or the Aero or anything like that, but just why is the 9.5 just a cool car?
So I had a 2002, and what made me fall in love is the fact that it's the ultimate driver's car. And a lot would argue, but at the time when they first launched this edition, it was competing against the BMW M5. And of course, as time went on, BMW got better at what they did, and GM kind of messed up the brand. But it's a true driver's car. In fact, most of the time, I don't even drive with the radio on. I enjoy the sound of the exhaust. I enjoy the sound of the turbo. The power steering is still a hydraulic power steering system, so you get to feel the road. And when you're driving and cruising on this, you can do 100 miles an hour. You don't even feel like it. That's how smooth the car is. So it's really comfortable. The seats are amazing. And just the actual engineering of the car, like I said, is just the ultimate driver's car.
Cool. So I think what to do next is, why don't we hop in and take a drive? Because I've never really driven a totally smashed in front end car. Actually, that's not true. That was a totally smashed in front end car. Too soon. Why don't we hop in? Why don't we take a drive, and I can see exactly how smooth it really is, because I've never driven a Saab 9.5. Drove your 9.3, which was really, really excellent, and beautiful car, super fun to drive. But I've always loved the 9.5s, especially this one. And yeah, it's cool to take a drive.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're actually inside, and before we go for a drive, I wanted to show you, and Kyle wanted to show you guys a really cool quirk of this car. Is we talked about the quirks of Saab last time, the cool vents and what have you, but this, yeah, the cup holder, exactly, which is honestly one of my favorite things ever. But this car actually has a cooled glove compartment.
Yep.
Now my XC90 2017 has that, where you just flick a little switch and it cools it. But this car's from 2008.
And earlier models like my 9.5 from 02, it also had that. So
that's awesome.
Saab at its finest, literally.
Gotta love those quirks.
So ahead of the market.
Okay, so inside, and it's a very familiar feeling to the 9.3.
Similar.
Got similar kind of vent structure. It's definitely funky, but in a cool way.
Corky.
Awesome cup holder. Yeah. I love that. So, but very familiar feel. I like the steering wheel a lot better.
Yes.
It's very nice. It's really kind of bolstered to like your hand. It's definitely a lot roomier in here. I can tell, and I know that's like a little bit of sedan versus convertible and all that jazz, but 9.5 versus 9.3, you're talking about like 3 Series versus 5 Series. So,
correct.
Tons of room in the back seat.
With heated seats.
They have heated seats in the back?
Oh, yes.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
And they're great.
Yeah, they are great. So, and you can fit, relatively normal sized humans back there, which is cool. All right, so right off the bat, I can tell less jitters than the 9.3.
Much less.
Now, does that have to do with this not being a convertible? Yes. I was gonna say, because you said the 9.3 convertibles just have this inherent shaking to them.
Yes, the front wheels are.
This feels a lot more solid. Insanely smooth. This car is very, very awesome already. I kind of like it. I can tell why this is a cruiser. I don't even need to get on a highway at this point. We're just going 40 on a back road. There's no shakes, no vibrations, no nothing. I love the little turbo gauge. Yep. Again, this one's a little bit fancier than the last one.
Newer generation, they changed it.
Yeah. Yep. And this is what year again? It's 2008.
This is 2008. Yep.
2008. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'm a fan. And what did you pick this up for from Copart?
$1,200.
$1,200
plus shipping and all that.
What do you think?
All the stuff.
As is, what do you think you can sell it for?
Market price would be, depending on where you are in the country, in the world, North America, that is, anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000.
Wow.
It's a spread, but if you're in Arizona, more like $5,000.
Okay.
And also depends on the car. This car is well maintained. It has a great history. I ended up having the service sticker from the previous owner, so I called the shop and they gave me like the whole rundown. So really well taken care of. There's no rust on the car.
Nice. mean,
that plays a factor. That plays a role.
Yeah, it feels great. And did you say there was frame damage or no?
No main structural frame.
All right, so that's huge.
Just the radiator support.
That's not bad at all. So just a general front end collision that you could swap in your driveway.
Yep.
Let's have some fun on a back road.
Yeah, man, hit it.
Because I've always wanted to drive one of these on a back road because they always look sporty to me. They always look sportier than, you know, say just a general 5 Series to me.
Yeah. It feels like a heavy car, but it, you know,
yeah,
it performs.
Yeah. Front wheel drive, right?
Front wheel drive, which
Yep.
you wouldn't even feel.
Yeah. I can detect a touch of torque steer.
Yes.
Not a lot, but I mean, I'm sure if I'm on it, there will be more. Nice. Some body roll.
Yep.
Not as much as a 93.
Not as much as.
Holy crap.
Yeah, and also you can fix that with these by, you know, upgrading the sway bar. There's a couple things you can do.
Yeah. Nice. This car feels great, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
You did such a good job repairing it, 1.
Thank you.
And 2, great buy.
Thank you.
Wow, this is fun. I feel like this is actually driving us quickly on a back road. I feel like it's a smaller car than it is.
Yep.
Brakes are good. They grab nicely.
It's smooth. I mean, like, we're on a real bumpy road,
Right.
guys, and it's like,
Wow.
you don't feel it.
This thing's great, man. I need a Saab.
Are you falling in love?
Would you give a discount to
I have another
a
one.
YouTube friend?
I could. It's a 4-cylinder, but it still has that growl. It's got like a nice growl.
It does have a nice growl to it, and the pickup is really good. Like,
Yep.
there's a noticeable lag, but it's not like you're putting your foot to the floor and then you immediately have, you know, a decade worth of lag. It's maybe like a second or two.
Yep.
And then you feel it come in, and it's linear. It's not exactly a, you know, just wait, throw you in the back of the seat to the floor.
Yep.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. First gear, they always understate the power. Just
Yeah. It feels.
eliminate that wheel spin.
It feels good. I definitely noticed more torque steer on that one.
Yes.
But I'm not like, you probably saw, I'm not like sawing away like a 400 horsepower front wheel drive tuned car would be. But I could tell that there's like, it's wanting to go in different directions.
Sure.
I mean, at speed, there's no torque steer,
No.
which is great. That was a quick drive in this car, and honestly, I'm very impressed. Obviously, you know what you're doing, putting these cars back together. You're a huge Saab guy, so you know the platforms, you know the deal. So obviously, you know you're doing a great job with your channel, with the cars and everything like that. But just Saabs in general. The last one impressed me. I always liked them.
Yep.
This one has brought me even further into the Saab realm because this thing is so much more refined in that sense, and it feels sportier, it feels much more planted. Like this car with some 18-inch wheels, some anti-roll bars, a suspension, and a tune and exhaust. I mean, obviously that's a lot of money, but with all those things, I don't think you'd need really another car.
No. It covers the whole thing.
If you didn't have the cash for, like, you know, say a second sports car or anything like that. Again, plenty of room. You can throw car seats back there. The trunk is huge.
Yep.
You know, there's more than enough room for daily activities and going to the grocery store or going like you said on a long journey.
A long weekend trip.
I think yeah, this thing's great.
Thank you.
I'm a huge fan.
And
so
like I said, this one's sold, but
yeah, maybe the next one. Maybe you'll see a Saab on Shifting Lanes someday. So
hey, we got a silver one ready to go.
Maybe sooner rather than later.
So I'm holding the camera, so I'm going to do a very awkward handshake. So thank you so much, Kyle, for letting me drive your car again. When the silver one's done, I'd love to show the viewers that one.
Absolutely.
Because these builds are really interesting, and honestly, just Saab's an interesting brand in general because it's no longer around. It has a very similar history to Volvo, and I just think they're cool cars, especially this one because it drives well, it was built properly, and it's just quirky. Like,
yeah.
I was just telling you, I'm not sure if it's gonna make the final cut of this, but I was just telling you how my mom has a BMW 3 Series, 2008, same thing. I would choose this over that 3 Series almost every day of the week because it's just more interesting and it's a bit more powerful. It sounds better. It's smoother to drive actually, which is shocking. Even though that car has 45,000 miles and this has 91.
Doesn't even phase it.
So yeah, thank you again so much for letting me drive this. Again, if you don't know Kyle's channel, go check it out in the link in the description and go follow him on Instagram. All his information will be below. And again, he detailed the V70R. So if you do need a detail in the North Jersey or surrounding area,
give him a shout, and all his information is down below. So that'll do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I and probably we, when this next car is done, we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
See ya.